Much. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, we're basically going to be giving a report out to what we've been doing all summer long. We're going to talk about the Fast Transparency Leadership Initiative. Basically, how fast is fast? So as you all know, and as John was alluding to in his previous talk, FAST has generated a lot of adoption and viewership. I think a lot of us are here today because of FAST, because of CTV, and all that. We've all seen this slide. This is from the Nielsen Gauge. So, however you guys feel about it, believe it or not, or whatever. But if you just read it and look at that measurement, Nielsen saying that at least 4.4, between that with a little bit of freebie there, to 7.4% of viewing consumption in the US was fast in July. And as you notice, there's some names that are not on there in terms of the services, so it was likely more. There's another category there that says 17.6% of other. So undoubtedly some of that's fast as well. So in addition to having about, as John was saying, about 70-ish% of people have tried it, it's starting to consume just a goodly amount of viewing minutes. And data, as you all know, who operate fast services, who have fast channels, data is really, kind of the key to fast success. I mean, fast channels really depend on data, as more than other types of media in the past. You really depend on it for making programming decisions in terms of, what titles are working, how should you curate, what's working at this day part versus that day part, being able to compare from platform to platform, how's my channel doing on platform A versus platform B, being able to get, your content accounting, getting basically by title revenue and all of that. You need the data to be able to do that. So more so or perhaps as much as any other media, data is really, on a pretty broad basis, kind of essential to running a fast channel and being able to succeed with a fast channel today, whether you're a platform or whether you're a service. But there's one kind of data that fast channels don't have. Basically a simple question that, say in traditional linear TV with Nielsen or with any currency in any country you had, which is, how's my channel doing compared to other channels, So congratulations, you had, 5 million minutes of viewing on your channel in July, wonderful. Should you have had 10? What are the others doing? Are you really killing it? Everybody else has got 1 or 500,000. You don't really know. Nobody knows. I mean, it's not known. You can compare amongst your own channels if you have a bunch of them, but you really can't compare otherwise. And that's kind of a big deal. We've got folks to tell you about why it's a big deal, but clearly, you need to know how you're doing. You need to know whether you need to make more content investment, less content investment. You need to obviously gain carriage and keep carriage and all of that, as the fellow from Plex was telling us. So you need to be able to, kind of back that up with some numbers, but you really can't right now. So that's a bit of a dilemma, and we're all here today to talk about a possible solution.
Thank you. I'm going to try to move things along because if you know me, you know I can monologue with some of the best supervillains out there. But that's why we're here, is we want to talk about what it's going to take to make transparency, to make competitive fast data a reality. And it's not as difficult as you think. I know everybody's sort of looking at like, well, how do we make that happen? We've done it before in other verticals, and we're going to prove it to you. But this started about a year ago, where we started having conversations with many publishers out there, and we saw an uptick in publishers asking about competitive data. Everybody's been asking about it, but something switched like about a year ago, and clients, non-clients, people that we would talk to at events like this, all started asking more and more about, do you have competitive data? I have nothing to benchmark my channels against. Do you have competitive data? And the answer was, no, we didn't. But there's no reason that we can't if we can collaboratively agree on some things. And so one by one, we started talking to a bunch of companies. And we created what is the Fast Transparency leadership team, and they were devoted to the Transparency Initiative. And these are just some members of that team, as you can see here. There's members of the ISA and FAST Alliance, there's small indies, big indies, multi-channel, single channel. This covers the gamut, and every single one of these people that you see up on the screen, as we were going through and having conversations, they said, I want to be in. We want to make this a reality. We want to be a part of this initiative, and we're going to work together as a team, as a committee, to scope this out. What would it take to make fast transparency a reality and bring something to market? And so brick by brick, we sat down over the course of the summer, and we scoped out exactly what it would take. We looked at the data that we were all getting, or that publishers are all getting from their various platforms, and we looked at all the requirements that we would need in order to protect, their data, and what the minimum reporting requirements would be in order to make this useful. How do I compare my channel? What do I need in order to compare my channel against the industry, against my competitors within my category? And so these individuals helped us, not actually helped us, these individuals, everybody on this screen right here, formed this committee in order to do that, so that we can collectively bring this to market and make this a reality. And so what we wanted to do today is share with you, and we have a number of workshops throughout the course of these 2 days to actually reveal to you what that committee has prescribed, right? And everything that we think that this fast transparency service can be at launch, and try to get others as excited as we have been. These people we've all been donating our time essentially to make this happen. And we know it can happen because we've done this before. Mike and I have done this before. Whip Media launched this for a different vertical, but it was EST TVOD transparency for major studios and mini majors and eventually indies back in the day. The studios basically said, we need competitive data. We don't have competitive data for the digital home entertainment sector. We need better data for our own models. The studios, through the DG, said, we're going to make this happen, and Whip Media was their partner for that. ComScore, where I was before Whip Media, had other collaborative transparency services, opt-in services for set-top box-based VOD, TVOD, and AVOD. This is not new. This is just new to FAST. There's no reason that those same concepts that were applied to other verticals, where studios, distributors, publishers in this case, are all getting data, can't agree to share in accordance with certain rules, right? Just for the purpose of being able to benchmark how you're doing against the industry, against your competitors, and have better data. And I thought I was on that slide, so that doesn't make much sense. We are doing this. This is not a new thing, is really the takeaway here. And we want to show you how we can make that happen and show you what that roadmap looks like. So this is sort of the initial announcement, but right after this, I think there's going to be a 15-minute break, and then we're going to go into one of the breakout workshops, and we're going to be talking through all those different prescriptions for what it would take to make fast transparency a reality, answer questions that you may have as they arise. Please come join us for the initial one is the working session. We're really going to be showing everything that we have documented. And then later on, there's the launch of fast transparency, but there's also what should it be down the line eventually. If we're going to iterate this thing, what is possible? What does the ideal transparency system look like? We definitely want to hear your thoughts, because we're not just looking for the short-term future. We're looking at the long-term future as well, so we can continue evolving with the fast landscape, and the data and the competitive data can continue evolving as well. With that, I want to just turn this over to a few members of that Fast Transparency Initiative that have been so critical in helping us document all of this that we're going to be sharing with you later, and have them explain why they chose to be involved in this to begin with. So, Michael, you're first chair, so go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Johnson. I am the Director of Operations for Electric Now. Some of you may know is owned and operated by writer-producer Dean Devlin. Our parent company is Electric Entertainment. And first and foremost, Electric Entertainment is a production and distribution company where we utilized a fast channel to help promote a lot of our hero content across traditional distribution, such as TNT, but also streaming services like Amazon, but also Sci-Fi, CW. So the FAST channel has been really twofold. One, to promote our hero titles to our audience who enjoys our genre content as a multi-genre FAST channel, but also as a marketing vehicle. And the dilemma that we specifically encountered, as I'm sure that most of you have also encountered, is just the inability to understand our performance and viewership across the wide spectrum of distribution platforms that were carried across. And understanding that data, getting that transparent but anonymized data of understanding how well our FAST channel is performing against other similarly themed FAST channels has been very critical for us to understand how we move forward with productions for other shows for traditional broadcast. And that's really why we wanted to move forward with this initiative.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Barbato, co-CEO of Best Ever Channels. We have 5 fast channels and a lot of content in AVOD. So I have a comedy channel with The Stand in New York, a music channel with Spin Magazine, a couple of wellness channels, some classic TV channels. And I've been doing this a long time. I had a company launching on demand for the first time in free, which was Ripe Digital. And I remember this same problem happening. Well, I think we're doing well. Let me call my competition and see if we can have a conversation and compare notes. And, then Rentrack came along, and then ComScore came along and bought them, and lo and behold, we came up, with the information that we needed. It's not a new thing. It's an important thing, not just so that I know how I'm performing against others, but also so I can, inform the people that are potentially launching me or that have already launched me, and we can compare notes. I think that WIP is the right people to do this, and that's why I joined the committee. As all of you are probably thinking, it's not just about the information coming in, but, well, I still have to protect myself and make sure that, we're addressing all of that. They're doing it right. They're talking to, those of us that will both be sharing data, but also be using the data. What do we need to use, and, how do I want to be protected? How do I want to make sure that the data that is out there is helping, not hurting? So that's why I joined the committee, and I think these are the right guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Evan, lead streaming for Tastemade. Tastemade is the most distributed lifestyle channels in the fast and virtual MVPD space. We've got 4 channels in the US focused on food, travel, home and design, and then Tastemade en Español, as well as a number of other channels internationally. And this, to me, represents a way to bring the competition in our space just to a completely different level. Right now, it's a bit like fishing blind, trying to figure out where our channels may have hit the ceiling for a particular platform, where there may be room to run on a particular platform. That impacts us both from carriage conversations as well as how we can deploy our marketing budget. Content strategy is another big piece of this that everybody has mentioned. Understanding how our shows are driving us forward or not driving us forward. Right now, I can compare that off of broad baselines. I can compare it against myself, but it's really difficult for me to understand if I'm actually moving things forward for the broad audience without understanding how our performance stacks in relation to the platform as a whole, in relation to our category, in relation to channels more generally. And then the last but not least, sales go-to-market. We want to be able to go and explain to advertisers what the true value is of partnering with Tastemade, and part of that has to be a conversation around reach and how we can differentiate ourselves from our competitors, not only from the perspective of the products that we offer them and the genre and contextual cues, but also just how we stack up compared to others. At the end of the day, what the result of all of this should be is a better experience for consumers, because better content makes for a better consumer experience, which means everybody wins. We attract more people into the marketplace, both from the demand side, on the advertiser side, as well as from the audience side.
Well, thank you. I think everybody here has kind of heard some really, sort of compelling reasons as to why transparency is important. Since this is for FAST, in the spirit of an advertisement, I invite you all to come upstairs at 11:15 to room 303, 304, and we will go in detail, bit by bit, show you some mock-ups and show you exactly what the group has come up with over the summer. And most importantly, two things. A, we want to hear from you and get your opinions, get your feedback. More opinions, more feedback is important for this. And B, well, we hope you'll join us. Thank you very much.